Have you guys seen Kaiju number 8? If you haven't yet, I'm about to give you guys 5 reasons why you should be watching Kaiju number 8. I'm Kevin Ketchum, aka the Nerdy Jock, and welcome to the pod. Reason number 1, squad-based combat. Now, if you liked Attack on Titan, and I'm pretty sure if you're watching this podcast or listening at home, you have definitely seen Attack on Titan. Well, they use great squad-based combat in their action sequences. Well, Kaiju number 8 isn't really different in that regard. They have a lot of really cool fight sequences with a lot of really cool characters that all use squad-based combat to fight. Now, what makes Kaiju number 8 a little bit better and more interesting, in my opinion, than the fight scenes in Attack on Titan are that every single member of every squad from Kaiju number 8 has their own specialized and unique abilities. So on Attack on Titan, you have Mikasa, who's just an overall badass, and she can take anyone down. But you also have Eren, Armin. You have a whole gang of characters who also they're good at their job, but they don't have specialized techniques unique to each other, for the most part, unless you can turn to a Titan. In Kaiju number 8, every single character has their own pluses and minuses, their own strengths and weaknesses, and they have to utilize those to help defeat the kaiju. Like, for example, Kafka Hibino, our main character, protagonist, lead of this show, he is a close quarters, hand-to-hand fighter, and he's the one who actually does possess Kaiju number 8. So his abilities work really well when fighting against some of the big bads, right? But Mina, his girlfriend slash lover slash shonen, the other protagonists, future wife, we'll see, who knows what happens. But his boss, Mina, is a sniper. She's a badass. I haven't really seen her do too much close quarters hand-to-hand combat, although I'm sure she could handle it. But her job is mainly to be a sniper, right? So she could shoot the kaiju from away. If it's a 300, 400-foot Godzilla-type kaiju, she shoots a huge hole in it, exposing the core, which in Kaiju number 8, you have to destroy the core to destroy the kaiju. She'll open it up, and then boom, you'll get Kafka coming in as Kaiju number 8 to destroy that core and then defeat the kaiju. So you have this different kind of teamwork that you have to use in Kaiju number 8 that they don't necessarily have to use in Attack on Titan to take down the Titans. You also have great characters like Hikaru, who she wields a big battle axe, and she's not, I would say she's close quarters, but not hand to hand. She's always wielding that weapon, and without that weapon, she's super strong, but not quite as strong as she would be with it. So it does give it a little more dramatic tension when you get your main characters in situations against kaiju where they don't have the best abilities. Maybe a kaiju knows that, Kafka's range is really at close quarters. So he'll take shots at the squad or our team from, 200, 300 yards away. Something to, take advantage of the situation. Just by having that dynamic in the squad, it increases the tension dramatically. It also makes it fun to watch because they have to work as a team defeat these kaiju. You can't do too much solo leveling in Kaiju number 8. Reason number 2, the fight scenes. Guys, Kaiju number 8, fantastic fight scenes. The animation is superb in the fight scenes. It's top notch. It's done by Production IG, and I highly recommend checking it out just for the fight scenes alone. You have squad-based combat. Everyone's attacking from different angles. Every character kind of has their own color scheme too. Not too different from like Power Rangers or even, Knights of Zodiac, stuff like that, where, when they attack, they have these kind of really like cool light up fluorescent kind of weapons that each have their own different color. So it really does add to the action sequences when you see them fighting. Not too similar from the breathing styles that you also see in Demon Slayer. Like in a way, it's very similar to that in that regard. But just like Demon Slayer, the animation in the fight sequences is gorgeous, just beautiful. Now, I will give a quick side note here and say that the general animation for like the character animation from, in just general conversations and not fight sequences is not great. It's pretty basic. They do look very average. There's not too much detail in the faces and the animation when they're not doing a fight sequence. But in general, I think I'd rather have a lot more better animation in the fight sequences than I'd need in a conversation between, two different characters. Reason number 3, the plot. Now, at the time of this recording, guys, we are halfway done with season 2, and it has been non-stop mayhem ever since it started. Season 1 actually had a pretty long runway to introduce the characters, and it took a while to explain the world and really just get everything going and into high gear. Well, season 2 did not have that problem. I mean, since the beginning of episode 1 of season 2, it has been just nonstop carnage, chaos, fighting, overwhelming odds, and really, really fun moments. And there's been a lot of plot reveals. Every episode has had, at least every episode has had a huge plot reveal, and it helps expand the world. There's been character deaths. I mean, important characters, or at least we think they're dead. I'm not 100% sure myself. No spoilers here because I haven't read the manga. I have not read ahead, but stuff's going down. You know, it's getting real here. Now, another interesting detail is in season 2, the relationship between the humans and the kaiju is actually getting a lot deeper than I thought. Season 1, it was okay, let's attack this big Godzilla-like kaiju, take them down as a squad, have some cool action sequences, on to the next one. Well, here the plot's really starting to deepen to where you get to see how the kaiju are starting to use the humans to achieve their goals, and the humans are actually using the kaiju to kind of achieve their goals. So it's kind of cool to see this really, really good back and forth happening and deepening the plot of the show. So if you thought it was very superficial, it's not. It's not like Attack on Titan level deep, but it's actually pretty great. Reason number 4, relatability. Now, this is just a personal pick for me because I am an older otaku, or otaku, as Dan would say on the pod. And, you know, the lead of the show is Kafka Hibina, right? He is 32 years old when the manga starts, when the show starts. And in shonen world, that's like an ancient dude. You know, the average person in any kind of shonen protagonist show is usually like 13 to 18 years old, or somewhere around that range, the high school range characters. With Kaiju number 8, what makes this so special is that, you know, our lead character, who you really do get behind, he's an older guy, he's 32, he has trouble keeping up with the young guys as far as his physical fitness. I mean, even his character design, he's got like a little 10 pounds extra, you know, that he can never get rid of. And it's pretty funny because it does lead to some comedic moments, but it's also kind of a cool, like, character, you know, development where he has to surpass his physical limits to get up to the level of his younger peers so he can be a, you know, contributing member of the Kaiju Defense Force. For me, that just makes it a lot easier to watch, having someone who's a little more relatable to my age range. And if you are younger watching the show, guess what? The whole show has a plethora of younger, really cool characters that you can get behind. So all in all, it's a show that pleases everyone of every age range, I think. Now, last but not least is comedy. Now, Kafka Hibino, he's hilarious, guys. And in general, I didn't think this was going to be a comedic show when I first started watching it. I thought it was just going to be an action shonen anime, and it's hilarious. It has a ton of really, really funny comedic moments. You know, what makes this show different than other comedies, like, let's say, Don to Don, one of my favorite shows of all time, is that Don to Don, a lot of the comedy comes from situational comedy. You know, they get into a sticky situation, some comedic moments happen, and they have to get out of it together, and that's funny. In Kaiju number 8, Kafka, the character himself, is just a funny character. And in anime, because it's animated and not live action, it's a lot harder for characters to come across as just funny characters and not having, you know, special lines written for them. But, you know, they do a fantastic job with the voiceover work, Japanese and English, to make his character really soar. And he's there for levity. You know, usually the protagonist of any shonen anime it's kind of like the straight character. I mean, in general. I mean, you got Luffy, obviously, who's not, but, you know, you got your Goku, stuff like that. People who aren't super funny off the bat. Well, Kafka, just funny. So if you think you're getting into an anime that's just all doom, gloom, really cool action sequences, not at all. You're going to have a lot of really funny, light, comedic moments that add levity to some pretty dark and dire situations. And it just makes it more enjoyable watch. So that's my 5 reasons why you guys should be watching Kaiju number 8. So if you haven't, get caught up because it's all downhill from here, guys. Thanks again. We'll see you later. Os!